Hello, and welcome to episode 27 of Let's Talk Immigration. Lots going on with immigration, particularly with the ending of Title 42 and Biden's new proposal, asylum ban, the implementation of that. All that's going down right now. However, I've been distracted by a million other things, and that's not my area of knowledge. So that's not where I'm going to talk about. Okay, I'm going to talk about my area of knowledge and things that I know about that are important to big pieces of my audience. Okay, so I'll start with DV 2020, 2021. Good luck. Go, Ray. I'm going to get this question 100 times today, but I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I do not have an update on the appeal. You don't need to ask me if I have an update, because if I have an update, everybody that's our client, I'm going to let them know. Okay, but no update. Still waiting on the outcome of the appeal for the DV 2020 and 2021 clients. Okay, skipping on to DV 2023, we have two things going on for DV 2023. Well, let me just do these. Technically, Morrison Urena does not have two things going on for DV 2023. We have one thing going on for DV 2023. The one thing that we have going on is if you go to interview and then you go into AP, administrative processing, many times that means that you complete a DS 5535, a series of questions about your social media, travel history, work history. If you go through that, if you end up in that little trap, that means your case is transferred to the visa office in DC, perhaps handled by contractors, and we don't know if it will come out before the end of the fiscal year or your journey will just end. Every year, I've shared a post on all the social media outlets, Twitter, Telegram, about this recently. Every year, modernly, many DV journeys end because they go into AP and the AP does not come out before September 30th. So we recommend for the period of April to May, possibly June, a mandamus lawsuit for AP. Okay. We charge $4,000 for that. We have found mandamus lawsuits are extremely effective at getting cases out of AP. One of the reasons is this national security vetting that's happening in DC does not actually take months. It takes minutes. Okay. I don't know that for a fact. I don't work there, but I mean, they're just vetting against information. They already know it's computer, someone's not manually calling your references or anything crazy. So, there's no excuse. It's unreasonable when that takes more than a week, in my opinion. So we are doing AP mandamus lawsuits for DV 2023 selectees, $4,000. You pay up front and you do it now. Don't contact me in August or September about this, or July, August, or September, because a mandamus lawsuit takes 90 days to be effective. We don't have 90 days when you get into July, August, and September, because September 30th is the end. There are no more DVs after September 30th. The only way that happens is if a judge gets involved, and the only way a judge will get involved is if we say that if we find some unlawful activity, okay, by the State Department or the president or something like that. And right now, the only unlawful activity is unreasonable delay, and that's probably not going to be a hook to reserve unused visas. I don't even think there'll be unused visas. I think that there's a good chance that they use all 55,000 before September 30th. So if you're in AP, don't hesitate. Do a mandamus lawsuit, or don't do one. That's fine, but just make your decision now. Don't try to make it at the end of June. That does not work. Okay. So I talked about DV 2023 mandamus lawsuits. Next, I want to talk about DV 2024 consular processing. Okay, so Morrison Urena will represent DV 2024 selectees in consular processing, $2,000, and we will help you complete and submit the DS-260 and guide you through the entire process, which is a long-term relationship, because DV 2024s, that goes from now all the way to September 30th of 2024, potentially, right? Hopefully you'll be issued earlier in the fiscal year, but it also depends upon your case number rank and the visa bulletin in the future and things like that. But either you hire us now to help you, or don't. Don't come to me later when you are not scheduled for an interview because you chose an embassy that was closed on the DS-260. I can't, after your DS-260 is submitted and after it's called the AP stage date, after they have reviewed your DS-260, they lock it in and nothing can happen until you get a 2 and out. I can't intervene at that point. Either we can help you from the beginning or we can help you at the end after the interview. Nothing we can do in the middle, okay? So if you want our help, get it up front. We'll stick with you the whole time. Otherwise, you're kind of on your own, which is not a good place to be when you're dealing with the State Department. Okay. I wanted to talk about the visa statistics. The monthly visa statistics have been released for the month of March. Here's the funny thing. I have been so busy, I haven't got a chance to review them. So we're going to review them together. Monthly immigrant visa statistics. Okay. State Department releases them every month. Hold on a second. There's a new update on Sudan from yesterday. This does not give any guidance at all to visa applicants. This is about U.S. citizens that are still in Sudan. Okay. Monthly immigrant visa statistics. We scroll all the way down because we want the most recent statistics. There's 2 ways to get them. You can get them by post and visa class, or you can get them by place of birth and visa class. We're going to get them by post because we care what's happening at individual embassies. And of course, the way I have shared my screen makes it to where you can't see them. Well, that's not good. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about DVs first. Azerbaijan, issued 30 DVs in March. Abu Dhabi did 84. That seems more than the other embassy, but it's pitiful because Abu Dhabi has not only DVs from UAE, but surrounding states, but Iran and Afghanistan, and they only issued 84. They could have done a lot better. Accra only did 34. That's pitiful. Could have done a lot better. Addis Ababa only did 51. They have thousands of Ethiopians who won the DV, and they only issued 51 in a month. That's pitiful. You all can do better. I'm saying that. I'm talking to the State Department visa office, not the embassy. Embassy's understaffed, and the consular staff at embassies such as Addis Ababa, they deserve our patience and our respect because they're working under ridiculous conditions. They should have more support than what they have. Okay. Taipei, 25 DVs. Algiers, 393. That's not bad. Good job, Algiers. Almaty, 249. Pretty good. Amman, 94. Could be better. Amsterdam, 7. I've actually been outside that embassy on a recent trip. It's right across from a park. It's a really nice area. I don't know why 7 people want to leave Amsterdam for the U.S. You might want to consider staying in Amsterdam. Lots of nice things in Holland that are not here. Okay. Ankara, 127. That's pathetic because Ankara has an enormous number of DVs from Turkey, but also from Iran. And that number should be 1,000. It shouldn't be 127. So I don't know what's going on in Ankara where they're deprioritizing the DVs again for a 3rd year in a row as if Trump was still president, but they really need to get their act together. And I actually blame I always blame the visa office, but Ankara, there's some decisions being made. I don't know if they're being made by the ambassador or the chief. I don't know, but stuff. Ankara is not my favorite embassy right now. Ashgabat 99, Athens 3 should be more because sometimes Albanians go there. Auckland 9 should be more. Baghdad 24 should be a lot more. That's embarrassingly low. Bangkok 187. That's surprising, but good. Beirut 26 should be more. There's some Syrians that are waiting. Let me see here. Belgrade, there's no embassy in Syria, so they usually go to Beirut. Okay, Belgrade 33, Bern 15, Bishkek 233, Bogota 4 should be more. Okay, so I just realized if I do all these, this is going to take like an hour because there's like 150 embassies, right? Brussels 2. The European ones, you're all going to probably be okay. So I'm focusing on Cairo, 184. That's low. That should be higher, especially now that U.S. Embassy in Khartoum is closed because a lot of those DVs will want to be interviewed in Cairo. Unfortunately, a lot of their DVs, their DS-260s are locked in for Khartoum. So that creates a problem. Casablanca, 258. Ciudad Juarez 9. That's okay. In Mexico, Ciudad Juarez is in Mexico. There's no DVs in Mexico. However, smart DVs move to Mexico after they win because it's a high volume embassy. There's two embassies like this. Ciudad Juarez and Mumbai. High volume embassy with no DVs because there's no DVs in India either. So if you're the only one, doesn't matter what your case number is, as long as it's current in the visa bulletin, they're going to get you in and issue you a visa. DV 2024 selectees, listen to me. A lot of DV 2023 selectees are listening to me now and saying, oh, that's right. He said to move to Mexico, but I didn't do it. Okay. And at this point, it's too late. Once your interview location is locked into your DS-260 and your AV stage date comes up, there's nothing you can do about it. So, okay. I talk too much. DACA, 1. Oh, come on. There should be more than one from DACA. 45 from Djibouti. Djibouti services Yemen. Ton of DVs from Yemen. Worst humanitarian crisis on the planet for 10 years running. And the United States government's issuing 45 visas. I mean, like, it's embarrassing. I don't know what's going on in Djibouti. That's sad. Doha, 32. Dublin, 5. Frankfurt, who is handling, am I going to get this confused? Frankfurt is handling Ukraine also, 277. Georgetown's handling 4. That's because they're no longer handling Cuba. Cuba is now, they're being done in Havana. Havana, 132 DVs. That's pretty good. Could be better, but it's pretty good. Skip any embassy that I wanted to look at. Islamabad, 65 DVs. Since we're looking at Islamabad, let's look at other visa categories. F2A is not even showing up because the U.S. State Department doesn't believe that resources need to be allocated to an embassy to where green card holders can bring their spouses to the United States. I mean, FX is the category for green card holders who have been waiting for their spouses for a couple of years. But F2A is the category for like right after the position is DQ. They haven't issued any. I mean, that's pathetic. F4, only 92. F3, only 21. There are thousands and thousands of family preference category visa applicants waiting for U.S. Embassy Islamabad. And these numbers are pathetic. And there are what they are is they demonstrate Secretary Blinken's animus, hostility toward Pakistani people. I don't understand why, but someone needs to say it out loud. This is not; these numbers are not an accident. Okay, this was resource decisions made in Washington D.C. that throttle immigration from Pakistan. I don't know why they're doing it. I just think it's wrong, and the numbers don't lie. Okay. IR1, spouses of U.S. citizens, since most of the petitioners, green card petitioners for F2A have been waiting for years, they've naturalized and changed their categories from F2A to IR1. So there's probably 8,000 IR1s waiting in Islamabad, and they're issuing 117 visas a month. So I feel awful for Pakistani visa applicants, because this is not supposed to be a 20-year process to bring your spouse or child, and it's not a 20-year process now. It's not a process at all. It's like things are not moving. It's very frustrating. See, Jerusalem did 11 DVs. Johannesburg, South Africa, 19 DVs. Kinshasa, 234 DVs. Kuwait, 24. They never do too much. They're kind of a low volume embassy there. That always surprises me. Lima, 89. That's good. Go Peru. London, 26. Trying to get away from that weather over there. I understand. And that king. Madrid, 16. Usually Madrid's higher. But Spain's a great country. Maybe people don't want to leave anymore. Manila, 3. The Philippines is not a DV country, so these are people that thought ahead, or circumstances put them in a situation where they are chargeable, or they were born in other countries, but they moved to Manila for their DV year, and that way they get they selected Manila on their DS-260. They're set up for an interview with nobody competing against them. Very smart. Monrovia has 73 DVs. Should be more. Liberia has a lot of DVs. Montreal, 1 F2A. That's ridiculous, because I personally know of about 10 spouses of Iranian spouses of green card holders who are in Canada waiting for Montreal, and there's 1. And if I know 10, that means there's probably 1,000, 2,000. I don't know. Montreal's getting behind. I don't understand why. Family preference category statistics are very low for a high volume embassy. So I guarantee you I know why. If we go look at non-immigrant visas, they're probably doing a lot better. These are curious. Moscow, an embassy without consular services, somehow issued 4 visas. All immediate relative categories. Don't know who. 4 visas. Maybe it was the Romanovs. I don't know. Okay. Mumbai IR5 913. That is good to see. It's finally Indian American families are finally able to bring their parents over to the U.S. to be grandparents. They're already grandparents, but to help with the kids, that's good. That's so refreshing to see. This shows how visa statistics changed from month to month and year to year. I remember when that was like under 10, like during COVID, they just shut that down. It's kind of fun going through statistics, thinking about other places in the world. Paris, 19 DVs. Brazil, 1. That's surprising. That should be more. I'm sure there's more than 1 waiting. Of course, this year they don't have Venezuelan, so maybe not. Santo Domingo has a huge backlog, but they've been addressing it. And when I say addressing it, they have been addressing it. So when an embassy says, oh, we couldn't possibly do 2,000 family preference categories in a month, well, look at Santo Domingo. F2B is adult children of green card holders that are not married. They did 2,000 of those in a month. FX, spouses of green card holders, they did 2,039 plus the 64 up here. So they've done 2,100 spouses of green card holders. If you're a spouse of the green card holder, you need to move to Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, even though that there's a backlog, because the embassy has the resources to clear the backlog. The resources and the will. Very important to have both. Tashkent used to be a problem embassy. It's not doing as bad. These numbers need to be higher, though. Yeah, they're a little lower than they should be for sure. Only 2 F2As. Tirana, Albania. Love our Albanian clients. 166 DVs. That should be higher. It's not bad, but it's not good either. Could be better. Could be a lot better. Tunis did 43 DVs. Warsaw did 447. Warsaw is also doing DVs for Russia. So it's good. It's 447, but it'd be nice to see one of those 700, 800 kind of numbers. There's still some months in the year. And Yerevan. Yerevan did 107 DVs, even though there's most of the Iranians, the ones that were paying attention to me, chose Yerevan as their embassy as opposed to Abu Dhabi or Ankara. And Yerevan is a very big embassy, one of the biggest embassies. I was going to say in Europe, but I don't want to get into whether or not Armenia is in Europe. I'm not an expert on that. What I will say is Yerevan is a big embassy built for volume, and they could do a lot better than 107. That being said, Yerevan is still our go-to embassy for Iranians between the three. Ideally, you can get outside and not get stuck with one of those three that they try to push on you. So State Department issued 64,714 visas in immigrant visas in the month of March. So that was fun. I don't know if I'll do it again because it's me talking about a lot of numbers. Nobody likes that. Okay, so let's do question and answers. Mr. Robot, I think this is an automated thing. Wait. The current chaos in Pakistan is causing distress and anxiety. We can't even contact our families because government has shut down the internet. I've heard about this. I've actually got some questions about what happens if the U.S. abandons the embassy in Islamabad. I do not think that will happen. They may suspend visa issuances, but it is geopolitically important for the United States to have an embassy in Pakistan. So I think that they're probably... that's probably not going to happen. Okay. Did you ask a question? How are you? I am good. I am busier than I've ever been, but I am great. Is there a chance you could transfer our cases to other embassies on that basis? Yeah, there's a chance I could transfer your cases to other embassies if your immediate relative or employment-based categories and you physically move yourself outside of Pakistan, right? Your ability to do that depends upon your means and also like your situation. Because if you're a stay-at-home worker, a remote worker, Spain has a visa that's great where you can go there and as a remote worker, either the petitioner or the beneficiary can get it, and the other one can be the derivative. And When you're in Spain, Madrid embassy is hopping. It's ready to go. But they're not going to let you move your interview location there if you're not there, right? So I get this inquiry a lot. I'm in Pakistan. Can I do an interview somewhere else? If you were not in Pakistan, it would probably help. Okay, now let's back away from that. I have a caveat. If you're a DV, that's a different situation because DVs, they do not let you change your interview location, with rare exception, after you selected on the DS260. But, well, after your DS260 is considered processed, which seems to be almost immediately after you submit it now. David says, hi, David. David says, it would be possible that after the elimination of Article 42, the court ruled, I am afraid I'm from the DV 2020. Thanks from Cuba. There's no relation to the elimination of Title 42 and the DV appeals. No connection at all. Okay. I've already answered this question or talked. Ferris says, but DV 2023, they look like 50,000 visas. So why they take a lawsuit? Don't understand your question. They did not take 50,000 visas have not been issued for DV 2023. I keep hearing misinformation like that. That's not the case. I don't understand why people say that. But AP lawsuits work. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, Ivan. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Ivan. Thanks for all the tips. In my State Department AP lawsuit case, they still haven't returned my passport after submitting a new medical and passport 1 month ago. Is this them retaliating? I don't know if you are my client, but if you're my client, please contact your paralegal, and your paralegal will contact the embassy about that. We would not have dismissed your mandamus lawsuit yet if you were our client, because we try to keep the lawsuit open as leverage until you get your butt into the United States, until you until you enter the United States, until you're issued the visa. State Department may say, "Oh, the case is moved because you got we said that your case is cleared." But in my view, your case is not moved until you get a final visa education, which is a printed visa in your passport. So I'm awful with remembering names because we have so many clients. So if you are our client, please contact me or your paralegal, and we're going to get on that. Well, if that's our client, though, they have a contact information that's direct. They don't have to email info. So I keep sending them emails and they never reply. Okay, email them. Email me directly. Should I do double lawsuit? No, that's not allowed. Greetings from Amsterdam. Hello from Amsterdam. I like Amsterdam. It's nice. In the day. I like it in the day. Nairobi. Great museums in Amsterdam. Nairobi is not a question. It's a great place. I've not been there, but oh, you were talking about when I was going through the visa statistics. And I don't blame you because I have a lot of inquiries from Nairobi. 79 DVs issued in Nairobi for March, and family preference categories is awful. 13 spouses of green card holders. That's it. I think Morrison Urena probably represents 20 spouses of green card holders. And we're just one little bitty small law firm compared to the hundreds that there are. So I'm starting to think that backlog of green card holders waiting for their spouses and children from Nairobi is starting to get crazy, starting to get big. It's not good. It's not good when Blinken allocates resources in such a way that disadvantages, conveniently disadvantages people of color. I think that they could do better. Okay. Yusuf says, hello, Mr. Morrison. Hope you're doing well. Any update for good luck? Nope. I'm doing well. Thank you. Hello, Google Iske. Hi, Anne and fellow DV 2021 peeps. My country's Trinidad has given a lot of visas. And if you're DV 2021, you know that your DV 2021 visas are not being issued right now, okay? Just making sure you know that. Trinidad and Tobago, what? Oh, you have to know the name of the city in Trinidad, and how did I forget that? I don't remember it, so I can't search that document for that. But anyway, DV 2021 visas, no DV 2021 visa that was reserved has been issued since, has been issued. But no DV 2021 visa has been issued since September 30th of 2021. I clarify that because I have to explain it sometimes. Save DV 20, save 2020. 2020 was an awful year. I don't want to save it. I want to forget it ever happened. You're talking about DV 2020. Right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I don't know. Save DV 2021. Okay, if you were a DV 2021 selectee and you were not a good luck plaintiff, or you did not choose one of the embassies that were protected under Ray, your DV 2021 journey is over and there's nothing I can do about that. Okay. I get a lot of inquiries where people say, what about DV 2021? And I'm like, I've been telling you it's over for DV 2021, except for good luck plaintiffs, go plaintiffs, and Ray eligible selectees since 2021. So why is it still being repeated to me? I mean, if you are a good luck plaintiff, identify yourself that way, but also don't ask me for an update every week, because if I had an update, we're going to tell our clients, right? We get paid on the back end when you get to the US. We have an incentive to let you know when we win the appeal. So when we win the appeal, we're going to let you know. Okay, yes, I know. It's for people who want to transfer. I wish it's for 2021. Right. I understand why 2020 and 2021 selectees are paying attention to statistics now, because you are interested in what's going on at embassies for when we beat the appeal. Now, we don't know whether the State Department will allow you to transfer your cases after we beat the appeal. I hope they will. 2020, they were very helpful with us, with the Muhammad and Fangjong plaintiffs, in transferring cases where we wanted them. And then in 2021, they were less helpful. In 2022, they were less helpful. So I don't know what's going to happen after we beat the appeal. Just have to wait and see. Okay, I don't have any questions. I don't know what that means. Does that mean y'all want to end early? If you're holding on to a question, I'm going to give you about a minute to ask it. And I was going to mention for a second, I have this other lawsuit that I haven't said anything about in this, the Asylum Seekers versus Johnson case. No developments since last week on that case. So we are waiting for the judge to issue an order on the government's motion to dismiss. There's been some interesting developments in that space, because while the government is arguing to us that asylum seekers do not have rights to privacy, there's another lawsuit where the red states, the Trump supporting states, are suing the Biden administration to try to get the identities of asylum seekers. I know it sounds crazy, but there's a motion to compel with a pending hearing later in the month in that case. And the government in that case is quoting our complaint in the asylum seekers as to make their arguments against the red states. Did not see that coming. So in our case, they're like, asylum seekers don't have rights. And in that case, they're like, but what about the rights of the asylum seekers? Same Biden administration, but in our court case is in the district court for the District of Columbia, and that court case, it's called Arizona versus Garland, is in Louisiana. So they argue different things in different courts. Pretty crazy. Okay. Ivan mentions that the Amsterdam embassy issued over 1,000 non-immigrant visas as opposed to only 50 immigrant visas in February. Probably the same for March. As I've talked about a lot over the last year, Secretary Blinken issued a cable on November the 17th, 2021, that is all over our website, because I've challenged that in a few lawsuits where they have prioritized non-immigrant visas over immigrant visas. And I'll tell you what, that cable has been one of the most effective tools I've ever seen used for throttling legal immigration. If the Trump administration or Stephen Miller had done that, everybody would be up in arms. But since the Biden administration did it, kind of get a pass. I mean, except for the 4 lawsuits that we filed, Morrison Green has filed challenging that. No other legal challenges to it. Just Sonny Santos and Wilson, that's in the Eastern District of New York, and the Naveed case that's still pending, waiting for. Both of those are pending on waiting for judges from all 4 of those cases, from orders from the judges. The Naveed case is actually had a call in another case with that judge on Monday, and he's aware that he has not issued the order in the Naveed case yet. That he didn't give an idea on when he would. I took the opportunity in another hearing before him to mention it, and he's that's why I said, which is fine, because we don't supposed to really nudge judges about, hey, you haven't issued an order. You don't supposed to do that. Okay. Are you going to transfer our cases after we get visa? Or are you going to help us with the entire transfer process? I don't know, Mr. Robot. I don't have a client named Mr. Robot. I don't know what case you're in. I don't have context here. I don't know what your visa category is or anything. And I could guess and itemize what we're going to do for everybody, but if you just put more context in your question, it'd help. They are clearly doing what Mr. Blinken told them to do. Great job. Haha. I think you're right. I think it is. They're working for Blinken. I think Biden is an old senile man, and I don't really think that he knows what's going on. Right. I don't list him as a defendant anymore. I list Blinken. Why the government still held me its appeal against the DB 2020-21. Andrea, I don't work for the government. I don't know why Secretary Blinken is doing that, but I will tell you what the consequences of that will be. It's the Trump administration who wanted to expand 212F authority to give the president the ability not only to suspend entry into the U.S., but also to suspend visa issuances. That was a tool that the Trump administration wanted to use to throttle immigration. So the Blinken administration feels like it. The Biden administration is the one that's fighting for that. So if the Biden administration wins the appeals, and good luck, and Gomez, and what's going to happen is they're going to get a useful tool for some monster like DeSantis or Trump in the future to suspend legal immigration. Way to go, Blinken. Don't be an immigration attorney. You'll spend a lot of time very angry. Okay. Thank you for being very transparent with your updates. You're welcome, Nightman, and thank you for acknowledging that I try to be transparent. I really do. Ivan says, is it possible to change the consulate after the interview during the AP phase? Ivan, I always said the answer was no, and I took a mandamus lawsuit for someone who was in AP who did change their interview location after, but I think it was an extraordinary situation involving a war zone. And so I don't recommend it. If there's any way not to even think about it, it's a good idea, because if you're trying to do something novel, it's a good way to get your case into like a black hole where it disappears for 5 or 6 years. So I don't recommend trying that. But if you have a situation where your case was in AP at Khartoum, well, there's no embassy there. There's no flag. There's no Marines. So yeah, you'll want to change the consulate. You didn't tell me which consulates. So I'm just talking generally. If you want to hit me up on Telegram or WhatsApp and chat about it, you can. Okay. Eustace says, hey, I don't have a question. I just want to, that I hope you're having a great day and thank you for everything you are doing. I am having a great day. Thank you, Yusuf. I hope you are having a great day too. I hope everyone here is having a great day. Okay. Do you have any news on Islamabad or about the lawsuit? My wife is waiting for our one interview since June 8th, 2021. I do not have any news on Islamabad that is positive. You said the lawsuit. I think Morrison Urena has 100 lawsuits pending right now. But if you're talking about the Naveed lawsuit, Naveed versus Blinken, the update I just shared a few seconds ago, where I did have a hearing with that judge on Monday, and in a different case, and I brought up that, that motion is still pending, and he understands that. He knows that. Okay, Yusuf says, I don't have a question. Just want to say, hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great day too. Morrison 2024. Oh my gosh. Y'all say that, but I'm just too liberal for the United States. I wouldn't represent the U.S. well, because I'm more progressive than more than half of the country. So can't be president. Maybe I'll be president of Let's Talk Immigration. That's it. So, but thank you for your confidence in me. I'm going to wrap up early. Give everybody 15 minutes to go have some fun. Go outside. Ivan asked, how did Prince Harry get his green card if he had drug issues in the past? I don't think Prince Harry has a green card. Let me tell you why. When you get a green card, you have to pay taxes in the United States. I don't think Prince Harry is down with doing that. I think he's got a non-immigrant visa. But I don't know. I don't work at USCIS. I don't know what's going on there. So, thank you, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Wednesday.